Hello there, and welcome to this Ringsiders preview of the upcoming WWE Backlash 2020, live from wherever it is this year. Probably the Performance Centre, could be a backyard. Who knows? Who can tell? It definitely won't be in your house. Anyway, I'm your host, the indefatigable Dave. I'm joined by the leader of the Illuminati himself, Callum. All right, he's not. Oh, right, we just get a wave. He's having audio sync issues, guys, so we're probably not going to hear from him, which will make the podcast, which will make this recording a lot better. I'm sure you will agree. I'm also joined by Mr. Manscaped himself, Kurt Johansson.
Hello, hello.
And down at the bottom there, I can't read his T-shirt. What does it say?
It says die together.
The man who wants us all to die together, and we probably will 5 minutes into this recording, Jamie Bell.
Yo.
Well, guys, it's another week. It's another WWE pay-per-view. They're not stopping. Even as the viewing figures take a dive, they're not stopping. Do you know who is to blame for the viewing figures? Paul Heyman. He probably won't be there this week, though, because Brock isn't on the show. Shall we go through the Backlash card?
Let's
do it.
Okay, now this might not be in order. Who can say how they're going to do the show? They'll probably decide as it's going on air. That's what we do when we record. Here we go. We've got Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
Is it a urine on the pole match after this Friday?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping so, you know.
Well, Paul Heyman's out of a job. I know they say it's Bruce Pritchard, but what if it's Vince Russo himself?
Urine on a pole. So come on, fill us in. What's happened with the piss taking in WWE?
Well, you're in for a treat on this one. So Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, they've been bickering because Jeff Hardy was getting hyped and Sheamus was like, this isn't fair, you're always doing it after I win a match. And Sheamus tried to kill Elias and pinned it on Jeff Hardy and poured booze all over him.
Yeah, he actually tried to take his life.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the let's have a story about a guy with addiction issues being addicted. This is like, what's his name in WCW? Scott Hall.
Yeah.
It all comes round again.
And
God.
half the WCW roster.
Because you know what? There's nothing more classy than using somebody's real life demons in a storyline.
See, that
All
just...
I'll say is, clearly, Jeff Hardy will have okayed this. Come on.
Not necessarily, mate. It's WWE.
No, I agree with it. I think it's a ridiculous storyline. But I can't say Jeff Hardy would have let it go ahead without agreeing to it.
I mean, it depends how much you want to
got an insider here.
There's just one Red Wolf's opinion, but you know.
No, that's fine. So Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Is Sheamus still the Great White Shark?
Was he ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, they called him the Great White Shark because he was incredibly pale and had a Mohican type thing looking like a fin. Keep up with my knowledge of WWE from 5 years ago, guys.
If Dave knows this, then what's your excuse?
I'm just shocked that there's sharks with ginger Mohicans. I want to see it.
You see, right, first of all, WWE creativity.
If Sheamus is a Great White Shark, then clearly I am, because I'm pale and ginger. So,
mate, you're
the greatest white shark ever.
Well, that's me. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, there's no disputing that. Yeah, I am the greatest white shark
ever. A small white pufferfish.
Admittedly, it was a long time ago that it was the Great White Shark, and it was only because he was pale and had the Mohican. So I'm betting that Jeff Hardy wins this one. When I say I'm betting, I'm actually doing it through my new sponsor, Betware.com, which is a betting website. I won't give you the address; it's difficult to find. Betfair. Yeah, let's have a look. So, what do we? I think Jeff Hardy is going to win this one because it's got to. It's a redemption story for him, hasn't it? If he's had murder pinned on him, they can't have him lose and get arrested and taken away and thrown into the Punjabi prison.
I mean, it is WWE.
Yeah, it depends if they want to carry the storyline on. I was all like I was the same. I was like, yeah, Jeff's going to win this, but I think I'm going to change my mind now. I'm going to go for Sheamus. I think Sheamus is going to win this, and they're going to prolong this storyline to next week where Jeff has a shit on Sheamus's head or something. I don't know. I think they're going to carry it on. I'm going with Sheamus. I think they're going to carry this story on.
I'll go with Sheamus as well.
Oh!
I'll stick with Jeff Hardy.
Bless your souls. Bless your little souls.
Oh, no, they don't. Oh, Sky Bet doesn't give me odds on that match. They obviously don't think it's that important. Now, I am...
Are you actually betting during recording?
I've got to keep my sponsors happy.
Bet responsibly.
But when the fun stops, stop. And that's the end of this podcast, guys. I'll see you all next time. Hey, look at that, you see? Hey. So...
Dave, don't encourage them to stop watching. That's the last thing we need.
Right, okay. I'm reading the card again. You know, now I don't know if you've heard of this match, but it is on the card, and I think this is going to be the sleeper match of the card. It is Edge versus Randy Orton.
I see. I totally agree with you, Dave. I think it's not had much promotion. It's been kept quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's I didn't know it was on the card until the other day.
It might be the pre-show, the greatest pre-show match ever.
Well, right. My thing with this, because obviously it's called the greatest
match ever.
Greatest wrestling match ever, right? The best thing about calling it like that is in any review, the reviewer will use that phrase. They will use the greatest wrestling match ever.
It's amazing SEO.
The pull quote that you use. Imagine it.
In the deep search for the greatest wrestling match ever, that's what comes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
WWE Backlash had the greatest wrestling match ever. In quotes, that's on the front of every box. You see?
Genius.
Oh.
What I find funny is that we all know that Vince McMahon hates the word wrestling. So I'm very surprised that it isn't being called the greatest sports entertainment match ever. I'm very surprised that the word wrestling is in there. But I think, to be honest, I think it's going to be, for me, it's going to be the match of the night. I thoroughly enjoyed their WrestleMania match. I know a lot of people didn't. But you've got two workers who are just that damn good. And it might not necessarily be the greatest match ever, but I think it's going to be the greatest match on the card. And I think it's going to be the greatest match on the card with a Randy Orton victory.
Yeah. I mean, and realistically as well, when you call something, I mean, they're calling it the greatest wrestling match ever. It's hyperbole. Anybody who genuinely believes that when any organisation says the best ever, the greatest ever,
before it's happened,
before it's happened, before somebody independently has said it, and it's opinion based as well. Because what I think may be the greatest match, wrestling match ever, is probably going to not be what you three think.
Well, that's what Edge said in an interview the other day, didn't he? Edge said the exact same thing. He said somebody might think it's the greatest match ever, but the person next to him might not think that. So it's down to opinion, basically.
They're doing great on the advertising for it because it's all over Facebook and Instagram and everything. It's just like it's showing you've got Macho Man, Steamboat, Rock Austin, Taker, Michaels, Edge, Orton. It's like, is it really in the same league as those matches?
And in terms of what you guys said about like searching on YouTube and stuff like that, if you do a search on Google, it's showing that every single thing, if you put the greatest wrestling match ever, it's all relating now to WWE instead of maybe Omega and Okada or Bucks and Omega.
We should call our show the greatest wrestling podcast ever.
I think we should, yeah. I think we should definitely trademark it as well. I mean, obviously there was the greatest match of all time, as we know, was Alicia Fox and Melina.
Obviously,
yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, the guys aren't going to half-ass it, are they? Even if it wasn't called the greatest wrestling match ever, it's not like you're going to have like Edge and Randy Orton on the show, and they're going to be like, you know what? We'll take it easy. We'll just phone this one in, guys. We've been doing this long enough.
Let's just hope the commentators can be asked to turn up this time and give the match some excitement to it.
That at the end of that match, Michael Cole is going to go, that truly was the greatest match ever trademark copyright that I have ever seen.
It'll be, this is a great match ever.
Hashtag greatest wrestling match ever is trending on Twitter.
I feel sorry for Michael Cole because we're all aware of the fact that he has Vince in his ear for the entire show. I feel sorry for that guy. I really do.
At his best, I like him as a commentator. In the early years when he was finding his feet and everybody was critical of him, the difference is for a lot of this, you can't learn commentary without it being heard. If I was to do commentary on a wrestling match and just let you guys hear it, you'd probably like, yeah, that's great. But there's a difference between listening to it amongst your friends and putting it out into the whole world. So,
I thought it was really good at the NXT UK title tournament. He did a fantastic job on that.
He was good at
as well, live commentary is so difficult because I guarantee you that if you miscall a move in live commentary, internet wrestling community will be all over it. Oh, we called that a this. It should really be called. Look at the nonsense that there was about whether or not it's a bloody Scorpion Deathlock or was it the Sharpshooter.
I agree with you completely, but he does call every move a throw. Like,
well,
somebody will do a German suplex and they'll be like, "Oh my god, what a throw!" Belly to belly. Oh, it's just the throw, and it's like, no, it has a name. Come on, Michael.
Super kick. What a throw!
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. So next up, this is the first of our championship matches, guys, that I'm reading. Maybe not the first of the matches.
Are you going to get their verdicts on the outcome of that match?
Oh, they love it. They think it's the greatest wrestling match ever. Okay, go on then, guys. I'll let you have an opinion.
Orton wins. Sets up for a rubber match.
Man, yeah.
Dave?
Jeremy? Oh, me?
I'll give it man. Orton.
So I've got 2 for Orton. I think it'll be Orton too because he's the one that's there all the time, isn't he? So why not?
And I'll probably lose, but I don't want us to do a full sweep, so I'm going to go for Edge.
I'll say Orton because I think you're going to get a third match. I think there'll be a rubber match.
An all or nothing, But what do you do? Right, the thing with that is, if you've had the greatest wrestling match ever, what do you do?
You can't have
the greatest wrestling match ever too.
Well, you had once in a lifetime twice.
Absolutely, yes, once in a lifetime twice. But
twice in a lifetime.
My argument with that is it was at 2 separate shows. So the first one was once, and what WrestleMania was the first one?
28.
28. So you had once in a lifetime at WrestleMania 28, which is quite true. Mm-hmm. Because it didn't happen twice that night, did it? You see, this is marketing. Okay. Championship match time, guys. We have the United States Championship being fought out between the current champion, Apollo Crews, versus Andrade Cien Almas.
I'll go with Andrade. No, fuck it. I won't. I'll go with Apollo Crews.
I'm going Apollo. I think he'll retain it.
Absolutely.
I'm going Andrade. I'm more invested in Andrade. I feel like the company. I know there's talks of an Apollo push, but I love Apollo. He's fantastic, but they haven't made me give a shit about him. I think they're going to go
in Andrade, but I can't see him winning.
I can see Angel Garza maybe costing him somehow with the friction that was seen on Raw.
That would be.
I think Andrade is. I think he's going to win it.
I would like to see Apollo retain because it's a new push for this guy who. I mean, I'm hoping we're all in agreement that Apollo Crews is bloody fantastic.
Yeah.
When they give him a chance to show it. They've given Andrade many, many chances. He's been he's been around for God knows how long in WWE now, but he's always been, somewhere. Whereas Apollo Crews is pretty new to this, but I suppose And as well, I suppose it depends on which way the wind is blowing tomorrow for Vince McMahon as to whether or not he wants Andrade to win or Apollo to return.
Yeah. Who are you going with, Dave?
I think Apollo is going to return. I think it's the right thing to do to build a new star.
Okay, so Andrade is winning.
I think that politically it's the right thing to do as well. And I think it makes most sense.
Agreed completely.
Well, I disagree. So there.
Oh, you're wrong as usual. But next match.
So, next, we've got. I had to reread that then because I couldn't understand how it worked. But we've got a triple threat for the Women's Tag Team Championships featuring Bayley and Sasha Banks, who should be the team of Blasher. We have Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who should be the team of Blistered Sister. And we've got the IIconics.
IIconics.
So the current
I'm just glad I wasn't the only one doing that then.
Yeah. The current champions are Bayley and Sasha Banks. The emo twins, Bayley. The emo. I assume she's still emo, isn't she? With the looking like an emo mom. Bayley.
She's a Karen.
She's Karen.
Yeah, she wants to talk to the manager.
Okay, Karen Bayley.
Shut up, Karen.
And Sasha Banks. So where do we think this one's going to go, guys? I mean, I have my own thoughts on this, which I'm not going to share with you. So there.
I find it hard to care about the women's tag team titles because they've done nothing with them. I think Sasha and Bayley have them and will hold them and will win tomorrow night because I think it's going to be a build to the eventual singles match with those two. Clearly, they're going to use the tag titles in a way to split them up or something. I just don't think that time's yet. They're going to drag it on another 3 years probably. And I think Sasha and Bayley will walk out of Backlash, the women's tag team champions still. And yeah, it's a shame, really.
Agree more, Jamie.
Yeah, those titles could be so special. Like we said the other night, Callum, they should be defended on everything. NXT UK, NXT, Raw, SmackDown. There's so many amazing female talents signed to WWE. The belts are so underused, and it's really hard to care. But
yeah, there's an ongoing debate that WWE writers view the belts as nothing but a prop.
Well, that's all any belt is, really.
Yeah, but you can have a value in a prop, and there are some belts that just don't get the respect that they deserve, even within the women's division. So yeah, I mean, I do think Bayley and Sasha will return as well. I would like to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win because I think that would be an interesting combination. I like those two. I think they've Nikki Cross in particular is really shone.
Would it be their third title reign if they get it?
Oh, God only knows. They throw the belt around the room like pass the parcel.
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
And the IIconics, I like the IIconics, but they're better off always chasing. I think that the we deserve this type attitude would work better for them than anything else. I mean it'll be a good match, hopefully.
Well, the sheer excitement we've all shown for that match it's screaming through my my screen right now.
Not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I think the match will be really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's
I just don't really care about the outcome.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So we've then got a handicap match for the
Miz and Morrison.
Championship.
Ho ho. Miz and Morrison. Hey. Ho ho. Go on.
Guys, I think there was something wrong with the Skype call then. So we've got a handicap match for the Universal Championship between the current champion, Braun Strowman, versus The Miz and the John Morrison.
The John Morrison.
The John Morrison, yeah, they're just known as that's their team name now, the. And
MCMIZ and Johnny Drip Drip.
Oh yeah. He's a drip, all right. But
I don't know what his problem is with John Morrison. Can we discuss that for a minute?
Yeah,
I
take that back.
He's overrated. He does nothing for me. I don't get it. I just don't get the.
I don't. But there's so many other people on the roster that I'd expect you not to get, but you actually like. But
No,
John
it's just
Morrison
personal
really
preference.
just seems to have like a vendetta against him.
No, he's probably a lovely guy. I have nothing personal against him.
I didn't say personal.
In ring wise, it does nothing for me. I just don't get the appeal. I really
Do you think
don't.
he's talented?
So what?
Do you think he's talented?
He's very talented. He just doesn't do it for me.
Okay, I'm not accusing you of being wrong or anything, mate. Don't get defensive. I'm just asking why you don't like him.
He's an incredible athlete. Maybe it's just his style. I don't know. I just don't get. He's never done anything for me.
You don't like the fun, entertaining, high energy style that he brings.
I don't find him fun or entertaining.
Okay, cool.
Miz and Morrison. Hey, ho, ho.
Yeah,
So
Miz,
I
on the
think-
other hand, Miz is a megastar. You know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think, guys, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think Kurt thinks that Braun Strowman's going to return.
Oh, he probably is going to return. I don't want him to, but I think he will.
Go on.
I would just love to see Miz and Morrison even trying to be co-champions as Universal Champion, and maybe eventually have that kind of split between them. You can have the Fiend cost Braun Strowman by doing whatever he wants, and have Braun and Fiend doing shit away from the title. And co-champs, I know Jamie would love Morrison with a strap around his shoulder, whilst I sit there going, Miz and Morrison. Hey.
So, what if
oh,
the belt?
God.
What if the Fiend does interfere, costs Miz and Morrison the match, leading to Strowman returning? Would that be an ending that you could get behind, as opposed to?
I was hoping, right? That's my pick. I was just waiting for you to come to me, and I was going to say, I want Miz and Morrison to win it, but
Right.
I can see Strowman winning. The Fiend comes out, beats him up. Otis comes in and cashes in.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, so
That's great. Except for I don't think Otis is ever going to win that world title.
No,
Universal.
nobody thought he'd
think
get
big.
Mandy Rose. He's already a winner.
Yeah, he's a winner.
Yeah, I love Otis. I think the guy's incredible. I just get the feeling that
He will be Universal Champion one day.
I think he's going to be a failed cash-in. I'm not saying he'll never be champion one day. I'm saying I don't think his cash-in will be a successful one. I do think Strowman's going to win this match, and I don't think you'll see the Fiend as well. I think it'll be a typical Strowman will win, and that'll be it. On to the next match.
I think this will be the shortest match on the card, and it'll be an absolute,
Barn burner, slobber knocker.
I think
Greatest
it'll be
match
the
ever.
type of thing where it's a glorified squash, and Braun basically steamrolls them. They'll get in a bit of a fence. He'll do something where he catches both of them, and I don't know.
Double power slam.
Yeah, double power slams.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll grab one under each arm and do like a double power bomb type thing, or something magical like that'll happen. But I think it's going to be a big squash, and it'll be the shortest match on the card. It'll go. I'm betting under 2 minutes. When I say I'm betting, I'm just going to go on to betsquare.com, my sponsors, and put down that bet now.
And I thoroughly agree with Dave's verdict on that. I 100% agree with what he just said.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I don't want it to.
No,
It will.
Strowman wins. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm finding it very hard to have any enthusiasm at the moment for this card.
Well, that's
the greatest match ever.
Yeah.
But apart from that, obviously, is it just me that's like, meh?
No, I couldn't really care less.
So okay, we've not got many more matches to go through, guys. This week on Raw, we had Asuka versus Charlotte Flair on the Backlash Go Home show to lead to the match of Asuka versus Nia Jax. So we've got a Raw Women's Championship match. First of all, we've got a pay-per-view that doesn't have Charlotte on it.
She'll get added.
We've got Asuka, the current champion, versus the Destroyer of Dreams. It's not what she's called, but she should be. Nia Jax. Who do we think is going to walk away, and why are we all agreeing it's Nia Jax?
Well, I think Asuka will be lucky just to walk away with Nia's recent track record.
Nice.
I've just realised something. I think, with the exception of maybe Andrade and Apollo, this just seems like the most predictable card.
Yeah.
And I think Asuka's winning. I think Asuka's easily winning.
Did you think Andrade Apollo was the one that's hard to predict?
Out of all of them, I've gone with Andrade, but it's the only one that I'm kind of like...
That's the most predictable one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think that's the one that could go either way. The rest of them just seem very predictable. I'm like...
This just save this bit, because watch Jamie get 0 right. When he's like, this is the most predictable show ever. Jamie's recorded 0.
That just...
Yeah.
No.
It is predictable.
You're going to face a lot of backlash afterwards.
Hey, look at that. We get the show name in as well. Wait. So are we saying, what are we saying then, sorry, that Nia Jax is going to win?
No, I think Asuka.
I'm hoping Asuka. I'm going to go with Asuka.
Nia Jax has got is the villain, and she's got a villainous, villainous responses on Twitter for her actions in the past few weeks.
Asuka.
How can you record somebody, like reward them with a championship after constantly hurting people?
Because it's WWE.
Okay, maybe Nia Jax then.
Because they'll probably see, oh, she's got a big response on the old social medias. And even though we don't really care about the social medias, that's where people are going to be talking about it.
Hashtag Nia ends Asuka's career. It's trending worldwide.
So, yeah, I mean, I like Asuka. I think that she, she's got many, many years ahead of her, and we'll see what happens on the night. But I think Nia Jax is going to win.
Okay. Well, we've got any other matches on this show?
Yes, one more, and this could be, I'm assuming it's going to be a co-main event. It is for the WWE Championship.
Oh, yeah.
It is Drew McIntyre, who is the current reigning and defending WWE Champion,
completely
versus Bobby Lashley.
It will be a good match if it's anything like their Impact matches.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. I know Kate's mentioned in the past before. Let Bobby Lashley needs to be that Impact Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
I don't care about Bobby Lashley in WWE. They've given me no reason to care about Bobby Lashley in WWE. Bobby Lashley
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. In Impact was incredible.
It was the best big guy in the business. For consistent work, in my opinion. His matches were like Angle, Drew. He was doing fantastic. Give me that Bobby Lashley.
I agree, 100%. 100%. And again, and Drew McIntyre is just golden at the minute.
He's been a great WWE champion so far. Breath of fresh air.
He's going to keep that title. Lashley's not taking it. Obviously, because they're waiting for Jinder to come back out the Callum for that big money match.
Or what if they somehow try and get it onto Lashley to then bring back Brock, so they can have Brock and Lashley at SummerSlam and Brock to take the title back without beating Drew?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I think Drew's walking out. I think he's gonna have a very long title reign. To be honest, I think he'll see the year out as champion.
It would be shit if he doesn't get to be champion in front of a crowd.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
I think it will be. I think Drew will return. I'm hoping that the match is going to be, you're a really, really good unstoppable force, immovable object type thing where they're going at each other. It's not, like fast paced to get to the end. It's just a proper slow burn, big guys duking it out type thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good match. I'm sure we're going to get some MVP involvement as well, aren't we?
I'm loving MVP, to be honest. I think it's been a breath of fresh air on the show. I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah.
He's a guy I like, but he's also a guy who I think he thinks that he's a bigger star than he is. But I do like the guy, and I am enjoying his work at the minute. I'd like him to add more. I'd like the heel stable with Lashley and MVP and add some other people into it. I think that'd be great. I think MVP will probably take a nice claymore at some point during the match, and McIntyre will stand atop of the MC arena, holding his belt high.
Do we think there'll be any involvement at any point in the show from the bigger stars that aren't on it? Like obviously Charlotte. What's his name? Seth Rollins and his rip-off of the Illuminati. Just stuff like that. I mean, because it is one of those things where when you look at it, there's a lot of those known names, the ones that you think of when you the ones that like are really, really pushed when it comes to Raw and SmackDown.
Kevin Owens.
No Kevin Owens, no.
Yeah, there's no Bryan, Styles, Owens, Aleister Black, Seth Rollins, Charlotte.
Nearly everybody, apart from Asuka, that featured heavily on either Raw or SmackDown this week aren't on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
What a go-home show.
Do you think Paul Heyman knew that he was going to be canned, and he thought, you know what? Yeah. See you do Backlash after Raw.
Oh man!
Because I mean, obviously there's the pre-show, which is probably going to be at least as long as the show itself. So I mean, has anything been announced for the pre-show?
I have no idea. Not that I know of. I've not heard of anything.
Right, let's have a look what it says.
I think it's My Will to Live versus My Enthusiasm for the show.
if we're lucky, we have Sam Roberts.
So,
No,
if ever there's been a guy trying too hard to be a heel and just coming across as a complete dick, then he is.
Let me see which one Sam Roberts is, because there's a few guys. Oh, right, yeah, I know that. There's a few guys who do those commentary things, and you think just commentate, don't be a character. Like do the thing. Let Booker T be the like the character. Let
somebody with charisma actually be a character.
Yeah. He's just cringy. He's trying too hard to be a heel, and I can't stand it. It really can't stand it. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life, but I don't want to see him on my TV.
No.
We'll see you. Yeah, go on.
I think with all our enthusiasm, I hope we've sought Backlash to everybody, and you let us know like what you prefer from the show, because
let us know in the comments your predictions for the card as well.
Absolutely, and if you're not already a member of the WWE Network, sign up now. It's $9.99. I don't think you get the show for free anymore, do you? On the old WWE Network, they've stopped that because too many people wanted to watch the product, so they were like, let's not give it away for free. Let's charge them $10.
Well, that's it. And I do hope that all of our viewers, I can't say Ringsiders, our Ringsiders.
Well, it's in the brand guidelines, Jamie. It's Ringsiders.
Right. I do hope all of our Ringsiders are as enthusiastic as we have been in this recording for the Backlash preview. We are absolutely buzzing. See, Kate's freshly squeezed.
And Morrison. Hey, ho, ho.
So we're not using the Ringsiders as a collective name. We've got the Illuminati. We've got your fans, Jamie. They're the Bellends.
Yes.
Kurt, do your fans have any names? Have a name yet, or do you want me to come up with one as well for you?
I might let you come up with one.
I will think of one for you for the next recording.
Anglers.
The anglers will do. The anglers will do. So we've got goodbye. Sorry. Yeah, professionalism, guys. This isn't Callum on a Wednesday. So that was our roundup for the old WWE Backlash, the greatest pay-per-view ever made.
Oh, that's going to be the next. That is going to be the next one, isn't it? The greatest show ever.
What is
All
This
right,
is the
I'm gonna be
greatest
honest
show.
with you. We're really dragging this ending out, so let's say bye.
No, no.
Bye.
Right.
Have a discussion,
Okay,
mate,
I will.
Bye. See ya. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.